Salve to Discipuli, this is Mickey Strabbetti with a big review of prepositions and adverbs covered in stages 1 through 25. First of all, some preposition rules. A preposition shows the position of a noun. You can actually see the word position in the word preposition. And what we mean by that is it can show the location of a noun to another noun in the sentence. So on the table. Around the table, under the table. Doesn't always work. Sometimes you can be talking about the table. About the table is still a prep phrase. Its object is either accusative or ablative. Here are some examples of prepositions that take the accusative as its object. You can pause the video and study of them if you would like. Here are some examples of prepositions that take the ablative. And here's a nice visual of what their different meanings look like. So in plus the ablative is simply in, but in plus the accusative is into. I know I said a moment ago that all prepositions take either the ablative or the accusative, and that is true the vast majority of the time. As far as I know, in is the only one that can actually take both, and it means slightly different. So in plus the ablative is just showing location. In plus the accusative is showing motion, so into the water versus the fish is simply in the water. Okay, adverbs. Adverbs modify or give more information about a verb. They answer two basic questions. Typically they answer how or when something is happening or being done. Here are some examples of the how. Here are the examples in Latin and in English and in Latin. And here are some examples that we know of when. So they're English and they're Latin. These words answer the question when something is happening or being done. Now, so you can form adverbs from adjectives. From a 1-2 adjective, you simply take the ending, chop it off, and put an accented E on it. And then you have the adverb form. So happy versus happily. Forming adverbs from third declension adjectives is a little bit more difficult. You take the nominative singular, chop off the is, and put iter on there. So brave versus bravely. If it's a third declension adjective that already ends, that doesn't have the is, you simply add the ter. So diligens becomes diligenter. Audax becomes audacter, potens becomes potenter. All right, now comparative adverbs. Just like adjectives have 3 different degrees, so do adverbs. The way you would translate a comparative adverb is more. So he cooked dinner more quickly than the other person. It can also mean too, though, like he cooked the dinner too quickly. So you chop off the ter or the iter or the accented e and you add an ius. So negligenter becomes negligentius. Audacter becomes audactius. So if you did something boldly, the other person may have done it more boldly or too boldly. And then we also have superlative adverbs. Just like with adjectives, you're going to translate them as very or most. So you chop off the ending of a superlative adjective and just add an accented E. So ferocissimus, that's the superlative adjective. Ferocissime is the superlative adverb. So this is very fierce. This is very fiercely. And then we've got quam. All right, so quam with a comparative would just be more blank than someone or something else. So Billy ran more quickly than Bobby. Quam with a superlative would be as blank as possible. So Billy ran as quickly as possible. All right, let's do some practice. So copy down these 5 sentences. You want to underline the adverb, put parentheses around prep phrases, label the function of all the other words you possibly can, and then translate. All right, so number 1, we have a prep phrase in here, de amphoris. We've got a nominative for our subject, a direct object, accusative. We've got an adverb here and a verb. So the master praised you about the amphoras or the jugs quietly. You could also say the mistress quietly praised you about the amphoras. We've got a prep phrase here. We've got a nominative as our subject. We've got an adverb and a verb. Notice that it is a superlative adverb. We know because of the double consonant, the im, and then the accented e, and we've got the quam. Remember, quam plus a superlative adverb, we translate it as whatever as possible. Here it's quickly. So Salvius hurried out of the house as quickly as possible. We've got a prep phrase here, in tablinium. We've got a nominative subject, accusative direct object, an adverb, and a verb. Salvius suddenly led Quintus into the study. Got a prep phrase here, got a complementary infinitive, an adverb, and our main verb. So I really want to hear about the merchants. We've got a prep phrase here, we've got a nominative for our subject, we've got an adverb, we've got a quam, and then we've got the thing that is going with the quam. Here it's a pronoun. And then we've got our verb. Okay, there's no superlative here next to the quam, so this is going to be the than one. So, and this is a comparative adverb, so later than you. So Quintus arrived at the house later than you. All right, remember prepositions. A preposition shows the position of a noun. Its object is either accusative or ablative. It can be both in the case of in. Adverbs modify or give more information about the verb. They tend to answer the questions how or when something is done or happening. Wale to discipuli.